lackadaisical, and you think it's going to be very easy, and you don't make a concerted effort to make the right pass. I think you won't see 9 turnovers from the Spurs here in the second half.
Same 10 that started the game start this second half. That means Jerry Stackhouse, along with Alan Henderson, lost it off his hands. They are both starting because of the injuries. Dallas has suffered here. They're Dampier on the bench. Marquise Daniels now on the injured list, and Josh Howard back in Dallas with a upper respiratory infection. Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Bruce Bowen, and Robert Horry starts the second half. Beg your pardon, instead of Roscoe Nesterovic. 2 to shoot, Horry from up top.
Well, I've watched enough Spurs games this year to know this is a critical time for Dallas, because this is a time where they'll take a 3 or 4 point lead and make it an 11, 12 point lead. Put you in lockdown mode, get a couple buckets, and they're off and going.
Response from Jason Terry, who came over with Alan Henderson, and a future one for Tony Delk and Antoine Walker in the trade with Atlanta.
Whoa! I haven't seen that in about 7 years.
About Horry making a move.
Yeah. Jab step.
7 to shoot. Will Duncan go glass on the left side here? Horry
got a
clean Nowitzki out.
with one there.
Took just a quick look over to Joe Forte, the officials. Did you see that? Ginobili. Very quiet 5 field goal, 11-point night. 12 now for Ginobili.
The ability to create space, catch the ball, the quick step. You know, Jerry Stackhouse thinking you're going to go left, so he backs off, and then you just draw that step back. Easy jump shot for him.
Nowitzki over Horry. Robert comes away with a rebound. You're so right about this stretch of the game, Tom. Duncan to the goal. Couldn't control his body enough to throw it down. He's bummed about that. Ginobili, a foul in the backcourt.
Well, those are hard to catch when they're right at the rim. If you're jumping up, if they're one way or the other on the rim, let's say they're in front of the rim, you know you have to reverse it. Or on the other side, you can catch it and you see the rim. But when you catch it right in front of the rim, you don't really know exactly where the rim is, and you get yourself kind of mixed up there. Your basketball GPS, let's say, is kind of screwed.
Sounds like some rap song. Me and my basketball GPS. Stackhouse the miss, the rebound by Bruce Bowen. Back come the Spurs. They only lost once here in their building. Horry tried another 3, and Alan Henderson loses it to Ginobili.
That's 2 or 3 times just with the hands been able to strip the ball away from the Mavericks.
Parker cleaning out space, rolls with Duncan. Terry knocked it away, but of course it came right to Parker. And Don Nelson knows what you know, Tom. This is danger time, and he takes the time out. Center and leading 56-47 with Mark Jones and Tom Tolbert. Mike Tirico, good to have you with us here on ESPN2. 10:30 Eastern over on ESPN. You'll see 2 teams trying to get it going in the right direction again. Minnesota and Denver. Finley inside is blocked. The foul is called. And it's on Tim Duncan. On Duncan, that is 3. He's the first player in the game with 3 fouls.
You know, it just kind of occurred to me that in the first quarter, when Nowitzki was struggling, is when Horry was in the game guarding him. He gets hurt, he goes out in the second. That's when Nowitzki starts lighting it up. I mean, sometimes my uptake's not as quick as it should be, but I just saw Horry guarding him. I thought, you know, it'd be interesting to see if Nowitzki can get it going again, or Horry's the guy who can step it, because Horry has the length. Horry's the one guy in the Spurs that can step outside, has the length to guard Nowitzki. Quick enough to stay with him on the perimeter, and he can't post Horry up. So that'll be a matchup worth watching here in the third. Can Nowitzki keep it going in the second quarter, or can Horry come back in and shut him down like he did the first?
That point for Finley, the 2 at the line, gives him 10 for the game. His first point since the first quarter. Alan Henderson able to wrestle it away from Duncan, and the Mavs try to make a little push. Terry, corner, Stackhouse 3. Nowitzki tried a quick trigger, let Horry get out of the way. But Horry was in the way enough to deter the shot. Parker smelled the rim, went right to it. It should be a foul on Parker. And Monty McCutcheon's all over that call.
Well, I know what Parker was trying to do, trying to split the defenders, but you got to realize when you're splitting the defenders, the guy that's going to be right on your back is Dirk Nowitzki, who's 7 foot, and chances are you're not going to be able to get that shot up. You didn't, then you end up drawing the foul as well. You're going to see right here, it gets by Jason Terry, but Nowitzki just too long, and then he pulls him out of bounds.
It wasn't the hardest pull, but because Dirk was off balance and just grabbed a little piece of it. That's 3 now on Parker, so the only foul trouble of the night belongs to Duncan and Parker, 2 best on San Antonio. Dallas, as you see, cold to start the third, but Terry hits the hoop there and right back to a 5-point game. So the Don Nelson timeout, very effective.
But we all know that leads are very fluid when Dallas is playing, whether they have them or they're behind.
Parker fumbled the handoff momentarily. And here's Corey. Finley, Stackhouse, Terry, Booth, and Nowitzki. Finley trying to do it alone. At least he drew some guys. Off the Calvin Booth miss. Dallas keeps it alive.
You wouldn't think with everybody out on the court that he'd be shooting 18-foot jump shots, would you?
Popovich wanted to travel. Terry hits the deck. And here come the Spurs. An advantage for the moment. And Parker knows it. Went right to the hole. And a foul.
Wow. One circus shot right, one circus shot left. The thing about him that's been more impressive than anything, you can see the move. Watch him jump into Booth. See, when you jump into somebody, you know when the contact's coming. Therefore, it's easy to get off a shot, or easier. If you don't know when the contact's coming, it's more difficult to get off a shot. But just the way he's been playing, the way he's been running the team, he only has 8 points, but he has 7 assists, no turnovers, which shows he's matured. He's trying to be a complete point guard, to score, but also make sure everybody else gets involved.
Parker's 4th year, but he's still only 22 years old. Nowitzki, baseline. Parker on the push. Bowen to his spot for the corner 3. And this is ruled out of bounds off Dallas. More on Parker. Here's Mark.
Jones, guys, I spoke to Tony Parker about what his success has meant to other French players, Petrus and Boris Diaw with the Atlanta Hawks. He says that his success proves that European players can be very successful point guards, and Parker entertaining thoughts of perhaps making the All-Star team. And that would be a good thing, he says, not only for European point guards, but all of the people of San Antonio and France.
Getting frustrated with the fouls here on the Dallas side. You bring up a good point, Mark, because when you start taking a look at the All-Star voting, you're so locked in with the guys who are going to get there. Steve Nash is the point guard playing the best in the West. Are there others playing better than Tony Parker? Mike Bibby's having another good year, but Parker's been terrific so far this year. Duncan connects to take the lead up to 10.
I still think we're getting to the point in the NBA where it'd be fun to have a international versus U.S. All-Star game instead of East versus West. I think East versus West.
Whoa, Terry!
Nice.
Woo. Jason Terry.
Must have learned that at Arizona.
Luke didn't teach that.
I think Luke would have sat him even if he made that.
Wow, Parker was losing the handle, went right to Duncan. Who banked it?
Assist for that?
Could be. Nowitzki drew along. Terry up top. The backboard first. Good job by the veteran Finley in his 10th year. Settle it down here as the Spurs have taken it out to the largest lead of the night. Dallas only led in the first quarter early, 11-7. San Antonio most of the way. Oh, tough shot by Finley over the 6'11" Duncan.
Well, that's something Coach Nelson loves to do. If you get mismatches, leave it in the small guy's hands against the big guy and let him use his penetration skills. But still, I mean, Tim Duncan played that well.
Duncan did nothing more than just rise up with the ball to the shooting position, and Calvin Booth was all over the map through the foul.
You see the ability to get to the middle of the paint. That's sick. And this one right here, to be able to extend over Tim Duncan with the left hand, But he gets such a good power base. And you're talking about what Tim Duncan's been able to do, you know, offensively, drawing the fouls there. I mean, just a variety of moves. The banks, the straightaway jumpers, the turnaround jump hooks, the running hooks, the slam. I mean, he's a complete package. Maybe not since Kevin McHale, who's see the guy so polished and complete down the low block.
Shot clock running down. Ginobili threw up a deep one. And he's going to come to the bench. Stackhouse goes all the way. Lost the handover that was off his ankle last. It's a San Antonio ball. Ginobili after that shot works to the bench as Brent Barry checks in. Duncan also sits as Nesterovic comes in for the first time this half.
So it's a chance right now for Dallas to try to make up a little ground. You get Ginobili on the bench, you get Duncan on the bench. If you can't make up ground here, then it's going to be a tough position to be in. Either stay even or lose ground when those guys come back.
Brent Barry out of Oregon State. Son of a Hall of Famer Rick Barry. Horry, tough turnaround shot. The Mavericks chance to get it back down to 6:05. Nowitzki draws Barry here. And with Henderson flashing in the paint.
Well, with this offensive group out here, it's going to be contingent on Tony Parker to create shots for other people.
Or take one on his own. Now when Henderson gets the board. Out off the Spurs. Nowitzki, that first step's always so quick.
Well, it's because you have to respect the jumper.
Right.
You have to get out there and try to get a hand in his face in the jump shot. I always mention guys like my former teammate Chris Mullin. Not the quickest guy in the world, although quicker than some think, but when you can shoot like those guys can shoot, it just makes you that much quicker because you have to run out and defend against it.
Oh! Went left at that time, and Drew Nesterovic coming across. They're unhappy about all the contact that's been coming his way here tonight.
Well, he wasn't passing, he wasn't shooting. And you see you have to be up on him because he can shoot that jump shot. And then at 7 feet, the ability to go right and left. And the thing about him is he's so long, it only takes him a dribble to get to the hoop from the three-point line. I mean, one big dribble, a couple strides, and he's there.
Nowitzki, who after the loss to Houston on ESPN Wednesday night, 124-114. Rockets shot 61% in that one. He said, hey, that was a wake-up call for us. We've been playing at home, got into a comfort zone, had won 4 in a row. But he was very unhappy with the way his team played. He said San Antonio has kicked our butts twice this year. So it's a chance for us to respond, albeit shorthanded, as the Spurs have taken a timeout. Nowitzki had 15 on the second quarter, has added 1 since.
Tim Duncan, it's that guy, Manu Ginobili, and I would add Bruce Bowen in there as well, because without him, they don't have that one lockdown guy.
Nowitzki hits the second free throw, and it's back to a 6-point game. Watching the scores go by, you saw that Indiana beat Phoenix.
Nice.
Parker on the nice feed from Brent Barry makes it an 8-point Spur lead.
Well, that's just the kind of stuff that can't happen. I mean, that kind of stuff has plagued Dallas over the last few years, and you just can't give up the easy buckets. When you're trying to get back in the game, you need stops.
Oof. Nobody broke open, gets it back to the point guard, Terry. Nowitzki going for it. Spurs want to go for the back foul on Dirk. Instead, it will be called on Bowen.
It looked like an over the back from here, although I didn't get a clean look at it.
2 on Bowen. Tom, I was going to point out that Phoenix lost tonight to Indiana. San Antonio, of course, chasing Phoenix out here with back-to-back losses. The Suns are 31-6. If San Antonio can maintain this lead, they'll be 30-8 and closing in quick on that top record in the West. Nowitzki back to the line for the second straight trip, and as he shoots 2, Mark Jones has more on him.
Yeah, Dallas coaches say that Dirk Nowitzki has been a little bit more vocal as a leader this year in the absence of Steve Nash, although they say that Dirk's never going to be a big talker. Avery Johnson trying to get him to take more equity in the team, saying, hey, Dirk, you can't be Robin, man. You got to be Batman now.
Oh, come on, Jonesy. I thought you were going to give me the Avery imitation when you did that one.
My Cajun's not too good.
Nowitzki, as you see, putting up the stats as usual. No call on the Devin Harris dive
On the board.
and Parker hits it. Back to 67-59. Rasho's first points on the night. As Tom mentioned, get him on the board. Sean Bradley out there with him also has 2. Quick hands by Parker, trying to save it. Conveniently takes it right up the aisle. Tony signed a big deal, by the way. 6 years, $66 million at the start of the season. So he is going to be one of those foundation pieces. With Ginobili, who signed a 6-year, $52 million deal to get the season started. Big shot. Dirk knocks another one down.
Well, I'm waiting for it's 6-8, 6-8,
Yes.
6-8. You're waiting for someone to make a push. Dallas get it to even, or San Antonio to get a double digits. And so far, they're just kind of trading buckets right now.
See how the rookie Harris does on Parker. Barry goes baseline, lost Stackhouse. Calvin Booth reaching out. Got a little bit of Malik Rose as he was trying to bring it in. Because really, my arm was being held, Joe, honestly. There's a little bit of that leadership that Jonesy just talked about with Nowitzki. Getting Booth away. Some of the things that you kind of have to do if you are the star and in your 7th year. That is 5 on Calvin Booth. He stays on the floor. These Spurs go to Houston tomorrow, NBA TV, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 here in Texas. TNT, the Martin Luther King Jr. doubleheader on Monday, Houston, Memphis, and Denver, Golden State. And Wednesday night, we will be at Staples to watch the Timberwolves take on the Lakers. LA without Kobe Bryant, the severely sprained ankle. First quarter of last night's win over Cleveland. Kobe put on the injured list to be out of minimum of 5 games. Ginobili.
All set up by Parker's ability to get to the middle of the defense and break it down.
Third 3 of the night for Manu. Extraordinarily popular in Argentina, where they're watching this game live tonight. First time they get to do that this year. Harris splashes down to 3. Devin Harris, the Big Ten Player of the Year last year. Folks in Madison were hoping he was going to come back for his senior season. Nice take by Parker. Taking over this quarter. Malik Rose.
Devin Harris can't stay in front of him. He cannot stay in front of him. Parker can go by him right. He can go by him left. He's getting in the middle and just killing the defense.
Assist number 9 for Parker to go with 10 assists. Rasho knocked it away. It ends up right in the hands of Alan Henderson. You're right. This is a stock market quarter. A lot of trading.
Nobody wanted to step up and take the lead or dominate.
That time a double dribble as Parker lost the ball. Popovich said it was hit by Harris. The officials say no.
Let's see right here. He's going to turn. Yep. I think he would have picked it up. It would have been okay. But he continued on with the dribble.
Had just the first turnover of the night for Parker. He's averaging less than 3 turnovers a game.
2 for 1.
Finley miss. Alan Henderson waiting to get fouled. Trying to throw it off Ginobili. Devin Harris missed the 3. We almost got through 3 quarters without you calling for 2 for 1. I was...
I got to, especially got to do with the Mavericks. That's a given. Now, I wouldn't let him go left here. I would try to make him go right.
4 on the shot clock. Rose gives him the pick left. There he goes.
I mean, you don't know if he's going to go left. You don't know. There's just certain players in the league, you just know which way they're going to go, especially when you have the clock working for you. You make them go a different direction.
And the foul on Nowitzki is his 4th. So this thin Dallas team is getting into some foul trouble. Nowitzki has 4. Calvin Booth has 5. And Mike Wilkes out of Rice. Going to come in to give Parker the rest over the end of the 3rd quarter and on into the early part of the 4th. And Devin Brown comes in as well for Nesterovich. Wilkes, the 30-year man, age 25. Played 26 games with Jeff Van Gundy in Houston. Jeff loved having, George Karl loved having Wilkes when he had him briefly up in Milwaukee a couple of years ago. Guy always came prepared and ready to go.
4 seconds, and then another buzzer beater here from 40.
Finley cannot duplicate what Nowitzki did at the half, so this isn't telling the Dallas Mavericks why the Spurs are in position to do that. Avery has done a lot of the talking in the huddles for Dallas. It's happened a few times here during the year, and as mentioned in the first half, Don Nelson has another year on his contract after this, but Avery is being prepared to be the next head coach of his team. As we start the fourth, Devin Brown chases down the rebound with Haydo Udrih, Malik Rose, Manu Ginobili, and Rasho Nesterovic. Only Ginobili a starter on the floor for the Spurs.
Well, it's crucial for Dallas here early on. I mean, no Parker, no Duncan. You know they're coming back in about 4 minutes. This is the time to get right back in the game. What do? Give up an offensive rebound. Brown sinks a jump shot.
Here you see Dallas has not been a very good comeback team. They are without 3 of their best players due to injury. Nowitzki has 4 fouls, and Calvin Booth, who's played a lot of minutes, has 5. Alan Henderson missed. And I know Nesterovic did start the game. He didn't start the half. That's what I was referring to when I said all subs here. But Ginobili just started 4. Devin Brown, who's number 23, is retired at his high school here in San Antonio, and then his college, University of Texas, San Antonio.
We got
Rasho! Oh! Rasho! Step back to us! Take that, Stephen A.
Yeah, he's laughing. He's laughing.
See, act like you've been there before.
It's running bank hook straight away.
He does have 8 boards.
Oh, boy.
Here on the night.
Oh! Send it away.
The Rasho show.
Or just the Rock show.
Spurs lead by a dozen. It's its largest.
This is going up. This one is going up somehow, somewhere. He just knew it. It's that Rasho Nesterovic came out guarded. He's like, nah, I'm good. Heck with you guys. I'm getting this up.
Nowitzki's going to have another one of those off-the-planet quarters to keep the Mavericks in this one. So much harder against the Spurs, the top defensive team in the league. Rose tried to hand it off to Rasho.
That's such a tough pass to make. 4 big guys right there underneath the bucket. It almost has to be perfect. If you're going to try that, you're almost better off dropping it on the ground and letting a guy pick it up instead of trying to hand it off to him. But Spurs are loving this. +2 in the quarter. Tacked off 2 minutes. I mean, it is great for them.
Great play by Terry. The Mavs fell asleep on defensive assignments with the substitutions. But Jason bailed them out. Michael Finley will get some free throws. Hey, I want to come back to the Don Nelson thing with Avery Johnson, because it takes somebody very secure in their place in history, and Nelly's is obvious, 42 years as a player and a coach in the NBA, to allow somebody to essentially become the coach in waiting in a profession where job security is non-existent.
Well, he's a guy who, aside from winning a championship, been coach of the year numerous times, and I think he feels very secure with his place, whether it's in, as far as coaching in the history of basketball, what he's been able to accomplish as a coach, respect among his peers. I don't think he has any problems whatsoever, and he doesn't feel threatened whatsoever by Avery Johnson or anybody else for that matter. So, and I think another thing too, I think he's towards the end. And it's a situation where I'm cool with that. I'm cool with what happened. I enjoy this guy. I want to help him out as much as I can. And I think you're right. I mean, obviously, Nelly wouldn't have done that 15 years ago.
No,
but I think it's very gracious. He doesn't have to do it.
That's phenomenal. For Avery, too. It just tells you what he thinks of Avery as a person and a player as well. This turned over as Nesterovic and Udrih miscommunicate. But Nelly still has a great love for the game, the creativity part of it. As we mentioned, Nelly was the head coach when Greg Popovich was an assistant in Golden State for a couple of years, and right before that, Pop was with Larry Brown. No call there as Udrih was knocked down. Nesterovic comes to double on Stackhouse. He and Devin Brown put Jerry in a phone booth, takes a timeout with 2 left on the shot clock. Give Rasho credit, he did not start this half. and has brought energy with rebounds and defense. I'm just kind of talking to Alan Henderson. Where are you supposed to be? The double came from your guy. You got to come help.
Oh, you got to go. You got to flash to the middle. Is what you're doing. As soon as you see a double team, you got to try to get to the middle somewhere, and you got to be able to slide too. That's where having a feel for the game comes in. Where's my open spot? Am I open low? Am I open high? And you see right there, the coaches with the longest tenure with their current team. Coach Popovich 9, Nelly 8, Jerry Sloan 17 years.
And how about with those guys banged off here this week with their 2 victories? Beating Phoenix in the second end of that. So impressive without Andre Kirilenko. They were 3-18 without Kirilenko. They come back with those 2 wins.
They're down 17-5 in that game.
Yep.
Looks like Phoenix is off to their boat race.
2 to shoot. Couldn't get the quick inbounds.
Lefty. You're a shooter, you're a shooter. Get it up with either hand. Tell you what, that was a great play because if you catch the ball, you get a layup with 2 seconds left. What a defensive mistake by the San Antonio Spurs, even letting him get in that position. I think we might see a little diet of Tim Duncan here.
You see Dallas just 8 assists there, Tom. Again, low in the NBA, 18.5 assists on the year. Devin Brown, the pride of San Antonio. Terry left free. Just 5 points in the quarter for Dallas here in the first 3:50. Brown was in trouble, but found as good a bailout as you can get.
That's 3 times they've been able to just kind of flip the ball up, and Duncan's there to rescue him.
23 for Timmy D on 10 of 14 from the field. Flies in the face of Nowitzki. Knocks it down. There you go. Head-to-head with those 2 guys. Tonight, Nowitzki 25, Duncan 23.
You got to know about 80% of the time when he hits a pick, he's going to pop. He's not going to roll to the bucket.
Hendrick on the drive. Nesterovic on the follow.
After the Mavericks, you can't continue to trade buckets. I mean, this is what's going to make them a team that can compete in the playoffs or just a pretender. Are you going to be able to get some stops when you really need them? Because right now they need them, and they're not coming close to getting them.
That's out of bounds off the Spurs. A lot of whining with every whistle here tonight.
See,
Donated $142,000 to the San Antonio branch of the American Cancer Society to aid some of their great nationwide cutting-edge breast and prostate cancer research. It's coming up this weekend. One more example of teams and the stars in this league involved in their community.
I love the no fingers technique. Just palm the ball and chuck it down the lane. Always good fun.
Spurs leading here by 12. And there is Duncan. Maybe some fingers in the ball there would have helped.
Yeah, maybe they would have. That one definitely slipped out of his hand.
Finley saw Duncan try to green light to the basket with nice help from Devin Brown. Nesterovic comes over. That's why they're a good defensive team. That trip right there. They always have each other's back. 4 blocks for Rasha.
All of them, big guys and small guys. Well, when you have your head up and you know where the ball is, it certainly helps.
Devin Brown with 8 to shoot. Finds an open spot. And Nowitzki gets the rebound.
I think you got to find a way to let Tim Duncan touch the ball every trip. Now, whether he shoots it or not, different story. But at least let him try to break down the defense.
Nowitzki goes left on Nesterovic. And it's Dallas ball. You know, you saw the Duncan charity thing. Obviously, so many people involved in charity events or in their communities. This is a great community around its basketball team. And Statman, the great Marty Aronoff, makes such a good point. There is a Green Bay type feel to San Antonio. Small market relative to the other markets in the league. And just devotion to the only game in town. And this team and the players are truly beloved in this community.
We saw that when we were here for the finals a couple years ago.
Great time. Stack on the tape.
Up on the local Walgreens, go Spurs go, and all that kind of stuff. You just don't see that in a lot of towns. And I think the nose.
First appearance of Darrell Armstrong here tonight.
Well, he's just fired right now. It's just get the ball, get out of my way.
Well, he's looking around saying, if Stack and Finley with me, who else is going to get the job done? Woodrick fell down on his own. Look at Darrell Armstrong. Yep. On the bench, comes in for his first minute. Stackhouse fouled by Devin Brown. Boy, great hustle on all ends. We had 5 different players letting it all hang out on that trip.
Probably get the Packers, but I would almost be willing to guess that before somebody said the Spurs, Lakers would come out of their mouths. Yeah. They probably wouldn't think of the Spurs just because this team gets things done in a blue-collar type way. They're not flashy. They're not spectacular. They're not Los Angeles. Their team embodies what their coach embodies. Hard work, perseverance, working in practice and during the games. They're just a solid team with very good players that maybe a lot of people don't know about. Probably the flashiest guy on the team is Manu Ginobili.
Foul on Stackhouse was his first. There's 1 on the Mavs, 2 on the Spurs. Important couple of defensive trips for Dallas. They can get back in the game if they can stop here. Ginobili caught it and connected. Stack trying to respond. It was Ginobili stopping.
What a block.
On call, the flashiest of the Spurs comes up with a couple of big plays.
You got to get to your big guy.
Henderson's fighting Duncan's position in there. It's kind of fun to watch. Deflection, Tim catches, comes across the lane, and a rare mental mistake. Didn't know how much time was left on the clock.
I wonder how many of those the Mavericks have forced in the last 5 years. It's got to be single digits. A big coup.
Finley. Nothing. But look at that. Tim Duncan couldn't grab it. In 8 seconds, Tim Duncan, 2 things that you rarely see. Ginobili was calling for the foul after he made the hoop on that last trip.
Well, watch what happens when he sees Stackhouse get the ball. I mean, he knows. He knew he was going to the opposite side, and that was all ball.
Stackhouse missed the 3, and there is Ginobili getting the rebound.
Uh-oh, look out.
Rasho. I hope Stephen A. Smith's on the second halftime. I demand a Stephen A. Smith narrated Rasho package. Nowitzki, everybody closed out on him. He got bumped in the face by Duncan. Went to hold his nose. He did the Marsha Brady, oh, my nose. And the Spurs come the other way. Was it Marsha or Jan?
That was Marsha.
Take that, Dirk. And the foul as he hits the deck hard. Was it Jan?
No, it's Marsha.
It was Marsha.
You got to ride the football.
He did take a shot in the chops when
Duncan
came up to close
by you, by the way. You're going to see right here. Did he hit himself?
I think he self-nosed.
I think he hit himself.
And now
watch him jump into him. He just jumps right into Starovich. He knows if he gets to the free throw line, it's 2 points.
89-78. This Dallas team is home for the former Maverick, Jason Kidd, and the Nets tomorrow. Then they have Washington, then they have the Clippers, and then I don't know if their bodies are going to go into shock. They actually have to leave the state.
They do?
Yes, they do. They have not left the state since the day after Christmas when they played at Denver. And they'll play a road game at Charlotte in a week.
Testament to San Antonio's defense. Be able to hold the Mavericks to 79 points with only 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They've held them to 13 here in the fourth. That's just what they do. Just consistently good.
Sean Bradley came to double. Manu split that quickly. Out of bounds, last touch. 5 Mavericks. You know, Tom, you mentioned the Lakers and why some people would say the Lakers before that. If there's been an albatross for the Spurs team, it is the Lakers, who have eliminated them 3 out of the last 4 years. The one year they didn't was the year that San Antonio, Rob Rory, a part of that story, obviously, the year the Spurs won the NBA title.
Well, this year they're the clear. I got him. pointing to the spot.
It's like a French Open
exactly.
clay court, the umpire out of the chair. Joe Forte says step on the mid-court line, so over and back violation, and the Mavericks have a chance to get it back to single digits.
Well, I think Coach Popovich has always enjoyed being the underdog to the Lakers. The Lakers have always been the favorite. This year, when you ask everybody who knows anything about basketball, who's the team to beat, it's the Spurs.
Armstrong tried to take it, dunking to the ground, out of bounds off tip.
Well, if you want a loose ball around Darrell Armstrong, you better get on the ground, because he will get on the ground. He will scrap.
Acquired via trade from New Orleans on December 3rd for Dan Dickow. New Orleans had a lead at last check over Portland tonight.
Trying to make it, what, 3 out of 4?
Yeah. And Byron Scott's team had 2 wins the first 2 months. They might get 3 wins this week.
Well, their goal at the start of the season was to make the playoffs. Now it's to win 10 games.
Nowitzki, a rain-making triple, 7-point game, 30 for Dirk.
It's kind of right there. A couple threes away.
Stop. What they need. Parker. Sean Bradley the rebound. Could be 5, could be 4.
Numbers.
Stack going on Bowen. Finds Finley. Quick 5. Takes a 10-point lead to 5. As we dive towards 3 minutes, fourth quarter.
Now this is where they want the ball right here. They going to come double.
Nowitzki stayed there. Nesterovic tried the weak side put back. How about cutting it to 3 or 2? Stackhouse thought about triggering the triple. There you go, right to Dirk. Let him work. Now the switch with Bowen. Clear
They
space.
came inside.
Nowitzki. Rebound Bowen. Would be everything but. The stop, the setup. Bowen just pulled down his 8th rebound. Season high for Bruce.
I'm surprised he didn't go middle here.
He does. Bradley's waiting for him. Sean injured his leg as he fouled Duncan.
I don't know, but he's going to get any better. I mean, Duncan is what he is. I think Parker should be better than 69. Bowen's improved from the high 40s, low 50s to 63, but this is the part of the game that in close games can really come back to hurt you.
Duncan 4 of 5 here on the night. Kevin Brown in for Rasho Nesterovic. That change made because Don Nelson has gone small with his lineup, taking the Booth, Henderson, Bradley mix out of the equation.
Well, you want to be able to guard three-point shooters at this point of the game. Nowitzki's still the toughest guy to guard out there. And Tim Duncan's going to have to guard him.
On the switch, Ginobili now has Nowitzki. Terry got it right to Dirk. Free throws coming.
Yeah, you got to make him take jump shots and not get up so close to where you're going to commit the foul like Ginobili did there, although Ginobili said he pushed me off to get the ball in the first place.
85% at the line, all 7 tonight. Third team All-NBA last year back in 2001. Second team All-NBA in 02 and 03. Timberwolves Nuggets over on ESPN at 10:30 Eastern. To complete your NBA Friday. Ginobili and partner, a lot of communicating. They've really grown comfortable with each other. On the switch, nice recovery by Dirk. 7 to go with Duncan. Now 3 to go.
Good D.
Deflects right back to it, but it never hit the rim, so that's the correct call. A shot clock violation. It's 2.
That's a record.
San Antonio, best at taking care of the ball in the league. 14 turnovers on the year per game. 17 tonight. And called correctly. Never touched the rim.
Well, there's Nowitzki slapping the ball away from Duncan with about 6 seconds left to force him to go gather the ball, reset, and then take a bad shot.
And Dirk's not going to be all defensive here. I do think his defense has gotten better this year.
It has.
More of an effort to it. Armstrong, go get the 2 if you can. On the switch, a 3-point game. The Spurs had a comfortable lead throughout the third and the fourth. This is the closest that Dallas has been since halftime. 90 seconds to go.
Well, they've been fronting Tim Duncan on the box and making it tough to get him the ball down there. And someone's got to step up and hit a wide open jump shot.
Bowen gets close and got it. They say Duncan touched it. The officials say no. Lead is 5.
Awfully close.
Armstrong trying to do exactly what he did last trip.
Going up.
Nowitzki over Parker. I think Dirk's had a pretty good night. 34 for Nowitzki. The double comes from Armstrong, who will be left free. Devin Brown to Parker for 2. Timeout Dallas. Chitting and chatting here. Tim just said I didn't touch it. That's funny stuff there. Don't need 3 here, right?
No, quick 2 if you can get it. That's where they're going.
Bowen shut off Finley. Terry takes 3. Makes 3. Jason Terry, 8th in the league, 45% three-point shooter. 2-point game, 38 to go. Nice comeback by Dallas without 3 of its top key players here tonight. Devin Brown made the extra pass last time. It's going to stay in the hands of Duncan. Backs down. Ginobili! Brown got the rebound. Out to Parker. Got a foul. And they do with 13 to go. And a foul because the shot clock was off.
Boy, you get the stop you needed.
First foul in the last 2 minutes. They were not in the bonus, so it is San Antonio ball out of bounds.
To get your stop, all you gotta do is secure the ball. You can't secure the ball. Devin Brown is flying in there for the offensive rebound. And now you reduce the fouling and hoping they miss 1 out of 2.
20-second timeout here. You know what I love about San Antonio? We talked about how they have 10 players who they can play. Devin Brown's on the floor here. He would be the 10th guy in this roster, right about that. Late game, he made the key extra pass, made the hustle play to keep that rebound alive. They're not afraid with their 10, 11, 12 guys to use them all when the matchup calls for it. And that's what the matchup calls for with what Dallas has on the floor.
Well, I think he has guys who have all been in that position before. And I think what he's able to do, too, when you have the stability of guys like Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, I think you're able to give those guys a little bit more leeway and a little more trust. And the more time you give them on the court in terms of situations, the more comfortable they're going to be.
Mark Cuban there over on the Dallas bench. Let's go Blue. You know, after the Mavericks. During the time he's out there talking to the officials, still getting in their minds they missed the Duncan call. He has the Dallas local TV guys on the other side who saw the replay. Now you have to foul again after to see if you can't get the turnover on the inbounds. Udrich and Brett Barry, better free throw shooters, come in. Ginobili is fouled by Darryl Armstrong with 12 and a half to go. And always a good job to get one of your better free throw shooters taking it in on the inbound, and it's 79%. Ginobili's near the top of the list. Saw Eric Dampier in that plaid shirt. Manu quickly and calmly bangs down the first. Mavericks have a timeout left.
And if he makes this, yes, you're kind of at the edge now, whether you can go quick 2 or you have to go ahead and go 3, because if you go quick 2 and they make both their free throws, you don't have a chance.
Manu makes them both. Mavericks will take the timeout to take it at midcourt.
I think you have to find a way to look for a 3 here, but it's got to be quick.
Terry to trigger, a Stackhouse, Armstrong, Finley, and Nowitzki. It is Dirk. It's going to be a hit back to Armstrong for 3. Out of bounds, off San Antonio, but they lost half the time, 6.1 to go.
And now if you're San Antonio, do you let him get off a 3? Well, always been a believer here that if someone's behind the three-point line and catch the ball, just go ahead and wrap them up.
Nowitzki, a 97-95. What a game he's had.
Yeah, that to me doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for you.
2.7 left and no timeouts for Dallas. San Antonio takes a timeout here.
Well, not only his ability to elevate, watch his release point. You know, it's hard to get to. Back behind his head when he lets it go, shoots it straight up in the air. But I'm just in that situation. I don't like the fact that you go for two with only 2.7 seconds left. They make both free throws. The game is over, and even if they miss one, you're gonna have to get a long heave. And with 2.7 seconds left, there's no way San Antonio
Spurs to go 1 and 2 on the line. Udrih and Devin Brown, some better free throw shooters. Robert Horry, not just a good free throw shooter at 81%, but a veteran trigger man to put it in for San Antonio. They don't guard the inbounds. Throw it to the backcourt for Ginobili. Armstrong's Townsend with a second remaining.
Nice play, but a dangerous one.
Yeah, but you can throw it in the backcourt now. That rule changed a couple of years ago, but now if there is a mistake,
yeah,
it's going right to the basket.
Well, I think what you would tell somebody in that situation, if you throw it back and it happens to get intercepted, just wrap the guy up right away. Don't let him catch it and get up a three.
So Ginobili will come to the line, 4 of 4 here on the night. He doesn't waste much time when he gets in his hands in these pressure situations. And if he makes one more, business will be closed.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why you go for 3 when Nowitzki went for 2, because let's say he misses this one. What chance do you have of chucking a 90-footer up there just to tie the game? But this doesn't make a lot of sense.
Missed it. Here is Nowitzki with the tying prayer. Oh, he hit the backboard from 85 feet away. On a night when almost everything else went in for Dirk. San